God, I missed that first
Just
part.
very angry sexual things.
Well, you just repeat it. Fuck it. It's in here now.
Whatever. I mean, people should know by now that we are peculiar.
Very strange.
I make no buts about that. Peace and blessings, kings and queens. My name is Jaquan Davis.
And I am Nicholas Fletcher.
And welcome to another episode of Talking to the Sluts.
We need to get a noise machine for that.
In all seriousness, welcome to another episode of the Young Old Heads podcast, the podcast where we talk about a little bit of everything and a whole lot of nothing. This is actually a redo,
yes.
And my dear friend Nicholas, if you would tell the people why we're redoing this episode.
Okay, so this is episode 3, take 2.
Take 2.
We did record episode 3. I personally felt like I rambled a whole lot. In my personal defense, I'm just gonna say it because I'm the person who pitched to Jay that we should re-record episode 3, because before recording episode 3, when Jay came over, I had spent 2 days, basically like 2 full days of finishing up my album that I'm working on. So just in the studio recording. So by the time he came over, like the last thing I wanted to do was have some headphones on and talk into a microphone.
So you kind of, I don't want to say you phoned it in, but it's just.
Well, it just was. It's not what I want to give to other people. I want to have
You know what's crazy? Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, nobody would have known if we didn't say this stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And
nobody would have ever known.
Here's an example. I'm bringing it up because I told you this, and I was telling my buddy Cody about it. I have a hard time listening to the podcast myself because we're our own biggest critics.
Absolutely.
I hate how often I say like. If you want to go ahead and
to the word like.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and die via alcohol poisoning, take a shot every time I say the word like in a podcast. You got 30 seconds and you're going to heaven.
Take a shot of Everclear every time
I say like. But here's the thing though, and Jay, if you can assist me in this, I'm going to consciously work on it.
I'm not sure how I can help. What am I gonna do? Give me a cattle prod.
Yeah, I'll get a
give
shot
me a
collar.
Cattle prod, and every time you say the L word.
Yeah, we'll say the L word. And if I say it I just did it just there.
Yes.
I feel like there's a fair amount of times to say and is a good
filler word.
Yeah, it's to conjunction to the next topic and all that stuff, or the next thought. Because when you speak, it's how you fill the time, where your brain is constructing what you're saying. It's it's a good word that I just used a fucking again.
Oh man. Okay. Relax. You gotta chill, bro. Nobody need to be seeing you having no meltdown already.
I remember when we first talked about the podcast, how we had the prospect of being primarily PG-13.
Yeah.
I think we kind of.
I mean, when I came in hot with the word slut, it's kind of out the window. I mean, we just don't need to be overly abrasive. Yeah. Effing this and effing and effing. But an F bomb here and there, sprinkle it out a little bit, like some Parmesan cheese.
I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna go off on a freestyle topic right now. I've already told you this. I think curse words are silly.
Why?
Because anybody who follows my music knows that I haven't cussed in my music for, or hadn't cussed in my music.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you showed me.
Hadn't cussed in my music for 5 albums, 5 solid years. I stopped because I remember my sister was pregnant. I knew I was about to it was one of those things like a domino effect where my sister's pregnant and I was like, okay, I'm about to be an uncle, which means one day I'm also going to be a father.
Yes.
What kind of content do I want to make for everybody and all that
stuff.
I
mean, that doesn't necessarily mean you'd be a father, but I get where you're going. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
That sounds horrible now that you say that.
Yeah, it does.
Thanks a lot.
I knew what you meant, but
exactly.
Not.
I knew that one day I would be a father. And
because my sister's pregnant with my baby.
Welcome to this episode of Jerry Springer.
Jerry. Oh, gosh.
So, anyway, I stopped cussing in my music, and for 5 albums, and it became a staple of people's
I feel like that's incredibly hard to do too, man. Was that a challenge?
Oh yeah. Here's the thing. At first, extremely difficult, and again, curse words are great filler words.
Yes,
the word
absolutely.
It's a great filler word. So anytime I would be working on a song, just throwing in the F bomb or the B word or whatever, so that I like how now I'm censoring myself.
A well-placed bitch.
It's great. It just hits right.
Bitch.
Yeah, it just hits right. Well, I stopped doing it, and the irony is, it became a staple of like people would tell me, that's what, like, I love that I can listen to your music in front of my kids and stuff like that. So it was cool.
So you was on that kids bop flow.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I mean, very serious, deep lyrical material, like very, like, you know, like whatever. But then just one day I was like, man, like, why? Like, here's my prospect of why I think cussing is the idea of a curse word, like one word being bad and the other one being acceptable. Okay, like, so if right now, let's make a scenario. One of our children is in school, okay? So my daughter Hannah is in school. And she walks up to the teacher and is like, oh, I slipped on the ice and fell on my butt. The teacher would be like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. But if she was like, hey, I slipped on the ice and fell on my ass, they'd be like, hey, you don't say that. Yeah. Which is strange because they're the same. It means the same thing. It's like the same word. And like, it's the same with multiple, like we'll give the notorious word bitch an example. It literally means a female dog.
Bitch, what's my favorite word?
And at some point somebody was like, obviously used it enough. I think that came from like the term son of a bitch, which was obviously an insult. I mean, like, he was son of a dog. It was an insult, but then it became like a curse word, so don't say it. And the hilarity I find now is that, we'll put it in like, let's say like a religious context. Now it's like, oh, like, don't say that. Like, that's a bad word. Like, you don't want to say that. That's a naughty word to say. I think it's funny as if God like made the word fuck, like, or something like that. Like, like he don't care. Like, you know, like depending on what you believe, like whatever your beliefs are, like whatever, like a grand creator, like we made curse words.
Yeah,
humans made curse words. Like, you know, like humans decided like it was a bad word. So
it is kind of a weird concept to think that these few words aren't acceptable.
And they all they all mean, like, you know, like there's like, think about like male and female genitalia. Like, there's multiple words like to describe it, and there's ones that if you say it like
you say kitty, that's fine, but pussy
or cunt, like if you're like,
okay, that one, I don't know what it is about that word. I do not like it, man. It's just see you next.
You do like it?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not.
I've
you know, and I'll be honest, I've gotten into arguments with women in the past, but that's one word I've never used. Never
like,
used.
Real talk, never. And you know, it's funny, and that just goes to show the power of a word, because just like whatever the reason is, that word became so synonymous with like such a harsh insult that even like in like my most heated debates, I've been like, too far.
Yeah,
like, I'll call you a dirty bitch.
Gosh, man, it's crazy because even this makes me think of how much of a tangent we could go on, or how ridiculous the English language itself is.
Oh yeah.
Because you think about it, man, like take the letter F, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why we have the letter F, it makes the f sound, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So why do we need to take two other letters and put them together to make the same sound, Nick? Why is that necessary? PH, how?
Bro.
No, and don't get me started on silent letters, bro. Do not silent letters, bro. Pneumonia.
I used to baloney, bro.
Bologna,
pterodactyl,
cologne, and it's ridiculous. They say that English is the hardest language to learn, and I understand.
No, I have a person I used to work with. She was a Spanish lady at one of my old jobs, and her native tongue, she spoke Spanish, obviously. And when she came to the U.S. and started learning English, that's what she told me. She's like, your guys' language is so confusing because of things like that. And not only that, but we have like a word that will, one word that will mean like four different things.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, you know, like to vault over something, you could I don't know why it came to mind, but like a safe vault, or like you vault over like a pole, like whatever. And
I know it's just
and
like, you got homophones and all this
synonyms,
antonyms.
But here's the ironic part: as a rapper, I love it because like.
No, I'm fascinated by it.
Some of my best like setups when it comes to bars is using words. I'm just gonna spoil a bar right now on my new album. I have a line on my new album, and this is where the English language is so cool, where I say, I got the reach, check the bandwidth, paper stacks, check the bandwidth.
Wow. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
Check the bandwidth. That's dope.
Yeah. So like, but it's just it's like so to me, it's fun to play around with because
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'm very much a wordsmith. If you've ever had a conversation with
you
me,
actually are.
you know my vernacular is spectacular.
Yeah,
But
I will say that's one topic we will discuss is our text conversations.
Yeah.
But I think that we both use like our vocabulary is what
Yeah.
makes things hilarious to me.
yeah, that's yeah. I mean, I'm fascinated by words. I'm just saying that the idea, if you when you really step back and look, it's ridiculous how complicated the language is. But it's English. What else are we gonna speak? And there's so many words for anything. Like there's a word for everything,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Like,
literally, yeah. It's
like
like you
so-
said. We can circle back. Is that the episode that didn't get released?
What's that?
The Piblings one.
Oh yeah, no, we didn't release
Yeah, we
that.
didn't release that. That was
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
our random facts. Is
Yeah.
Piblings. Tell everybody what a Pibling is.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So you probably will not see the very first episode of the Young Old Heads podcast. So I will like to present my random fact from that episode, which is, I don't know if you call me an overthinker or a critical thinker or whatever, but I was just sitting there one day. I was actually at work, and I was doing something. And at my job, a lot of the times you're doing stuff by yourself, so you get time to think. And so I was thinking, well, your grandparents, your grandmother and grandfather, collectively, they're called your grandparents. Your mother and father are collectively your parents. Your brother and sister are collectively your siblings. So I'm like, why is there not a collective name for your aunt and uncle or for your niece and nephew? I looked it up. I did my research, some rigorous research at the University of Google, and found that your aunt and uncle collectively are referred to as your piblings.
Yeah,
Now,
Piblings.
now that's lazy as hell, pibbling.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
put,
just like-
let's put a different letter on it.
Exactly. That's what I picture. Like whoever, because it's something you got to keep in mind. At some point, early, like colonizers or settlers, like when they were creating language, they just got to decide. Like,
Yeah,
you know what?
we already got sibling.
got sibling,
Throw a
but-
P on there. And then your niece and nephew collectively are called your nibblings, which
is-
myself
yeah.
and Nick are both
Yeah,
uncomfortable
they
with.
just don't sound right.
But yeah, that's a random fact. I'm just like, I knew there had to be something for it. I don't accept those words because y'all could have did something unique or,
So
but-
I have somebody I work closely with in my business, and one day her and I were speaking, and I was telling her about the random fact that you
random
told me.
fact, yeah.
So I told her that, and I was like, yeah, there's like a different name for your aunt and uncle, and I told her piblings. So one day she texted me and was like, hey, is there like a different name for cousins? And I was like, I'm pretty sure cousins is the word
Cousins.
for cousins.
Yeah,
you know?
cousins doesn't really-
Well, and so, but then I started thinking about it, so I Googled it, and it gave me a whole list, but there was one on there specifically, and it might surprise you, but nobleman.
Nobleman?
Yeah, I thought it was so
Nobleman.
cool. So I was like, from here on out, refer to me as nobleman.
Shout out to my nobleman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's like the classiest way. That's another thing how English has evolved and changed, though. Go watch like an old movie, and they'll be like, how art thou so, like, heinous with thy, like,
Yeah.
swine of thought, whatever, like crazy, like just how they talk. And now today we're like, hey man, how you doing, bro? Like, it's
We
just-
like to use colloquialisms.
yeah, LOL, BRB.
Oh gosh, BRB is like OG internet slang, like from when we were on like MSN Messenger. Oh, G2G, BRB.
I was about to say the G. I remember vividly learning those, like being new to the chat, like
Those-
groups and all that stuff. I remember like learning the G2G,
Yeah.
the BRBs, the
LOL is also an OG
Yeah, the
one.
LOL.
But LMAO and a lot of that other stuff probably came out within the past decade or so, maybe a little bit longer. But
I'm gonna make one. It's gonna be just for a super complex thing. It's gonna be like 27 like letters.
yeah,
It's gonna be super complex.
good luck with that.
It's gonna
Okay.
catch. It's gonna stick.
So
all right,
those are-
after our very long intro, let's see here. And by the way, guys, if you are taking shots for me saying like, RIP.
Yeah. I hope you had a long and fulfilling life.
Yeah, hope you had a good life.
Shout out to your family.
My condolences to your family.
So,
So we're
I
gonna get
would
to
like
the
to
list.
start. We do have a list of things we're going to discuss, but I say, Nick, let's get into some of the top diss tracks. Tell me, we'll discuss, but tell me 3 of your top diss tracks
Okay.
ever.
So we did go over this list. As we said, this is take 2. Take 1, I rambled a lot, so I'm going to be more concise this time. All right, Jane?
Okay. How about you name one, then I name one?
Deal. That's a great idea. I'm going to take one of yours because I already know it's on your list too. Ether.
Yes. That's
Nas
actually,
versus Jay-Z.
yes.
Ether. I'm going to give my reason. I think it's because Ether was such a prominent and powerful diss track for that era that it is now used. Like if you rip somebody, like you said,
Yeah, you got ethered. Yeah,
you've been
yep.
yeah. So that's my reason.
Not only that, but so since you basically let the cat out the bag, I'll just name that one right here too. Same thing, man. It was, it's crazy. I think I mentioned that song in hindsight, it kind of sparked a debate that Nas was just kind of using middle school type insults, whereas Jay-Z on the Takeover was actually saying some
Yeah,
factual things. So people kind of look at it a little different nowadays, but it's still a legendary diss track to me regardless. Like when I heard that beat drop, fuck Jay-Z, which is actually Tupac's voice if people didn't know that. But yeah, and he just goes in, and then that last verse, Nas is just going off, and the beat is dope. And
Yeah, that's my thing. The highlight of Ether, like all of it is dope enough is a diss track, but the last, like the back end of it,
Yeah.
he's just savage, just kills it.
How much of Biggie rhymes is gonna come out your fat lips? Wanted to be on every last one of my classics. Man, Nas is one of my favorite of all time. But what is your number 2, sir?
My number 2, I'm going to say, is Nail in the Coffin, Eminem.
I feel like
Benzino diss.
that is a phenomenal diss track. First time I heard that, bro, chills. I was like, oh yeah, Benzino better not even try to.
So here's my reason why. First off, Benzino, I hope, and if he's listening, fuck Benzino. But fuck that guy.
Damn.
But with my reason why is Eminem is so extremely good at doing what you were talking about with Jay-Z. So Eminem doesn't put a lot of, like, if any, filler in his diss records.
Yeah.
Eminem goes straight for the heart. And he makes you laugh, like the punchlines that make you laugh, like the line where he's like, he's talking about it. He goes, because to give some context, at one point during their spat, Benzino said he would throw Eminem over a balcony.
Yeah.
So Eminem responded to the song being like, so how could he throw me over some balcony without throwing his lower back out as soon as he goes to lift me? Please don't. You'll probably fall with me and our asses will both be history. But then and again, you'll finally get your wish because you'll be all over the street like 50 Cent. Huh?
Yeah.
Fucking punk pussy. Fuck you, chump.
Yeah.
Like, hey, bro. Just like,
He went off
Yeah,
on that,
like-
bro. Man, that is a great choice.
yeah, so yeah, that's my number 2. What is your number 2?
My number 2 comes from the same camp. I feel like there's probably better diss tracks out there, but I feel like this one, because I was invested in this feud, and just the way it made me feel the first time I heard it. Back Down, 50 Cent. Get Rich or Die Trying. Actually, the 18-year anniversary of that album was yesterday,
Yes.
so we're gonna have to discuss
Yes,
that.
yeah.
But back now when I first heard it, man, I was just like, wow, like and it was funny, and you had the dude at the end, Jeffrey Atkins.
Oh, yeah.
But no, he went in.
Yo,
man.
this is back when they used to just hit
You were,
differently. Like,
he said, you a Pop-Tart, sweetheart, you're soft in the middle, I eat you for breakfast, a watch was exchanged for your necklace. Like that was a very well done diss track. And like I said, there's probably better ones if you really sit back and look at the hip hop as a whole. You could probably pick a better, more lyrical one. But I just think I like that one so much because of how it felt to me.
Yeah.
And me jumping on the bandwagon, I was like, yeah, fuck Ja Rule. But
oh, man, we're gonna have to talk about that stuff in the future too.
But I will say that was brief. There's because I did like 50 Cent a lot. He was the biggest thing in the world, but I kind of there came to a point where I liked both of them, and I was kind of playing both sides because Ja Rule's doesn't get the respect he deserves is, you know, actually being a dope MC.
And that's the thing. Just to quickly elaborate on what you are saying there, I was very guilty of this when I like hopped on like the Aftermath, Shady Records,
Yeah,
Dr. Dre,
G-Unit.
G Unit, all that. Like when I became huge
That was a
fans of them,
powerhouse, man.
such a powerhouse. They could literally like there could be a rapper named like Lil Dang Dang, and they could be like fuck Lil Dang Dang. I'd have no idea who he was, and I'm like, yeah, fuck Lil Dang Dang. Like it was all they had to do was be against them, and I'm like, I'm with you.
They had
and that was
quite a
Ja Rule
team,
because
bro.
to me back, you would have asked me as a kid, like, is Ja Rule dope? I'm like, fuck no, Ja Rule's trash. Go listen to some of his catalog.
Yeah.
Ja Rule
Like
was
that one
extremely
song
dope.
I showed you,
extremely
with
dope.
the So Much Pain. He goes off on that, man. That's one of my favorite songs by him.
You know, shout out to Ja Rule.
Shout out to Ja, man. People always clowning that man like he wasn't out here doing this thing.
Yeah.
He was one of the biggest rappers in the world before that time.
Like we talked about, Ja Rule, DMX, and Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Were like those guys are legends,
Yeah.
and he was doing a project with.
Yeah,
those
they were
guys.
supposed to be a trio. That's something else we can delve
Yeah.
into.
Okay,
One of
anyway.
the greatest things that never happened. Okay,
back.
so you're number 3.
My number 3. Okay, so I'm actually gonna change it.
Uh-oh.
I did yesterday. I said Hit 'Em Up, which
Okay.
is Tupac versus Biggie, which is hard for me to say because Biggie is like top 3 for me. Like I love Biggie Smalls.
I get that.
You know,
I do too.
of all-
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
So Biggie's my dude. But I'm actually gonna just go ahead, and it happens a lot on the podcast. But I'm gonna stand out. I'm actually gonna say it because I listened to it again. Kill Shot, bro. I have to say it only because here's why. I'm just gonna give you my
And
reason
2
why.
of your diss tracks are from a white man?
Well, they happen to be from one of the most vicious white battle rappers on earth.
You know, honestly, I can't pass no judgment on that, bro. I wasn't invested in that enough to,
Really?
you
So-
know.
so
but I think that's fair because if you look at it, your list is kind of like a timeline throughout hip hop.
Yeah.
Like that's the most recent one,
yeah.
but you got the early 2000s in your second one. Well, I guess Nail in the Coffin was like 03, so.
Well,
yeah,
I
early
think
2000s,
Nail in the Coffin and Ether were maybe a
couple
year or
years
two
of-
apart.
yeah, couple
But
years
yeah,
apart.
and then Kill Shot's many years apart.
Yeah.
But the reason why is as a battle rapper, when I got into battle rap, my favorite thing. And here's the thing: I keep calling myself a battle rapper. I feel like there's going to be rappers when they're going to like want to like research that, guys. When I say battle rapper, I mean I like to write flex bars in battle rappers like track for track. I'm not going up to like.
I never see
I'm not,
you.
Yeah,
I never
I'm not
see
going
you on
to,
URL.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to King of the Dot and like shredding MCs, bro. I just enjoy battle rapping, and I like to like diss rappers. I just enjoy it. Anyway,
Have you ever
so
thought
somebody-
about doing that type of stuff, bro? Like URL and that stuff?
I actually have, man, in the past. Yeah, I feel I've watched it to the point where because it's a whole nother type of theatric, man. The way they have the crowds like surrounding them and like the way they deliver
Bruh.
the lines, bro.
I don't-
It like gets me giddy that I'm like I could do this.
Bro,
Like,
I
could,
see this once. So you familiar with? We're going to get back to the ranch, but this is just on my mind right now. So you're familiar with the wrestler The Undertaker, right?
Yeah.
You know he comes out and like the gong, he's wearing
Yeah,
black
yeah.
trench coat and stuff. So I'll have to show you the video. But these dudes are battle rapping, and the one dude says, something. Now I'm up to something, and then the lights go off, and then they come, and it plays the noise like from
the
Undertaker's
Undertaker.
music. Then it comes back on, and he's got on a hat and a trench coat. It's like, shit, look like the Undertaker coming, bruh. Like it's just the theatrics. of
Exactly. That's my point.
I
Man.
loved
That's my-
it, bro. I loved
and
it.
because a lot of people who like freestyle is something we're going to talk about in the
Yeah.
future. But I think a lot of there are freestyle battles, but a lot of times like King of the Dot, like in like the like those battles,
Yeah.
they're rehearsed. They're not. I won't say rehearsed.
They're not freestyles,
Okay, they're
they're
not
not coming off the
rehearsed.
top of
But
their
it's like if you were a battle rapper, so like if it was like, okay, dude, like 2 weeks from now you have to face Jay, like
Yeah.
JD Nice. You're
Yeah.
gonna go and.
Don't say that name ever again.
I'm sorry, but if I were to like face against Paper Stacks Malone, I would know.
Paper stacks, Malone.
So somebody would, I would know. So I would know.
Yo,
I would,
greasy paper
I would
stacks.
have that time to write my bars to diss him, do my research,
Yeah.
build it up, and then when I go, like, we would have our stuff prepared, and then we'd go head to head. Like,
So they essentially write, because you know they got the rounds and stuff. So these dudes really sit there and write like 3 different verses or whatever about whoever. That's got to be tough.
But
too,
I
to
know
be able to time it.
they do give themselves like the the filler, if like where you'll watch them flip something the other guy said, so you can tell that was genuine, like a
Okay,
freestyle.
yeah,
Well, you're like, okay, like you just flipped something he just now told you.
Yeah,
It's your
yeah.
first time hearing it, but then you can tell it'll fall back into the cadence of the whole stuff. But
Okay.
my anxiety would get to me so bad though, bro. I like because when I'm at home and I pin something about a rapper. I am a rabid pit bull,
Is
and I'm like,
this?
yeah, like, let's get it, let's go. But like rap battle face to face, which I truly actually have never done, being fully honest. Like aside from like hanging out at like a house party and like freestyle amongst friends, and somebody throws a shot and you start like playing around. But like my anxiety would probably get me. So, but anyway, here's my back to kill
You
shot.
said kill shot. Back to the ranch.
Kill shot. Is a person who enjoys battle rapping and also writing diss tracks. I love when people flip lines. So I love it when you hear a line, think of like somebody saying something about your clothes, like you wearing all black or something like that, and being like, oh y'all, you wear all your black clothes, like whatever, something like that, and then your response is flipping it, like wearing all black because I'm at your funeral, and being like, oh, like damn, he flipped the clothesline, like. The clothesline. Bro, I'm already. Anyway,
Bars everywhere.
But Kill Shot, I went back and listened to it the other night, and it's just full of that. The entire thing is rebuttals to any. So basically taking all of MGK's like hits, like just being like all these punchlines and just flipping them on them, and like the personal stuff. It's just my favorite thing to do, and that is what Kill Shot is. But then also, I'm not a big fan of filler rap in battles.
Yeah.
So, I could break out some of the lyrics. I'd have to look them up. I don't
That's
know,
not necessary.
But he has such I'm trying to think of but he has a part where he alludes to being like, why do you call yourself like a machine gun? He goes, you ain't even a damn bow and arrow or something like that. Just like little line, but the way he sets it up like is so dope. But so that's my number 3.
I feel like I can't say whether that's a good or bad choice. I personally was not very invested in that beef. I think, my interest was peaked initially. Like, okay, this could be something good because we know what Eminem does.
Yeah.
MGK is a very talented rapper. So, something like that. I thought it could be interesting, but I tapped out quick, man. It's not even, I get how you were invested in it because, M's your guy, but I'm
a stan hardcore.
I tapped out quick, bro.
There's-
It's kind of like not even really much of a memory for me, but I would say the third best diss track for me, or not best, but top diss track. And this one, it's hard to say because I didn't really experience the impact of this, but like looking back, I see why it was such a big deal, and so I'm gonna go with No Vaseline.
Yeah.
Because first of all, y'all need to respect. A lot of people nowadays only know Ice Cube is a movie star. I need to respect that man's pen, and the fact that he separated from NWA and still had love for them and everything. And they decided to diss him for controversy or whatever
didn't
it
he
was.
write Riding Down the Street in My 6'4"? Didn't he write that? Because I know
Cruising down. Oh yeah.
Cruising, I think Eazy-E rapped it, but I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure that
I'm pretty sure Cube did write that, but he definitely wrote his own stuff,
Well,
and he
yeah.
wrote some of Easy stuff, and he wrote some of Dre stuff too. So he was like a very big part of that their process, which he got done wrong on the business end, which I think eventually all of them realized they were getting done wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, that right there, that's just a vicious diss track, man. Like. Just like, oh, y'all talking about fuck me, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
This is what's going on,
But the title in itself, No Vaseline,
Yeah.
that alone implies so much.
Yeah, Ice Cube, man, he was going through some controversy recently because of some stuff with, the former president. But to me, he will always be a legend, and that is one of the greatest diss tracks ever.
Yeah.
So,
Quickly, just because we brought that up, I had to look it up just because the line is so slick. This is where we're talking about like lyrical, like wordplay and stuff that's so cool. Here, let me find it real quick. He says, "Ho chill, acting like you'll put the chrome barrel to my bone marrow. Gunner, bitch, you ain't a bow and arrow. But ho chill,
crazy.
acting like you'll put the chrome barrel to my bone marrow. Gunner, bitch, you ain't a bow and arrow.
Yeah,
Like,
that's dope. I don't know why, man. I just like I said though, I know there was some dope bars spit in that thing, but in that feud, but I'm like, yeah.
Says you'll run. Say you'll run up on me like a phone bill, spraying lead. Playing dead's the only time you hold still.
Yeah.
Hold still, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't
Bro,
gotta dissect.
yeah.
I get it.
I know. I'm just saying,
get
bro.
it.
That's just bro. M's a G when it comes out. Okay, next
That
topic.
he absolutely
What's next?
is. Moving right
I
along.
gotta find our list. We just kind of just
Keep
jumped in there.
flowing.
All right, this one I think can be a quick.
I'm gonna serenade y'all with my terrible vocals.
This is the thing. We're each gonna do one. Okay. Okay. So it's gonna be a hot take. Great rapper, bad/strange lyric.
Okay, well, damn, I could say a few of these. So maybe we should bring this segment back at another time.
Yeah, no. Well, let's make it it'll be like kind of like a reoccurring thing. One day when we get a sound machine, we'll have a noise for it.
Yeah, we're just
like-
just planning the podcast as we're recording it. Don't mind us. But yeah,
We're very
maybe we'll
professional.
Yeah, absolutely. We know what we're doing. So the first one that comes to mind, like I said, I could probably name off a few half dozens of these, but a few half dozen. What the fuck? A half dozen.
Just a few.
I
That's
mean,
English language.
a few dozen.
Just a few half dozens.
There's a few half. Like if it's a few half dozen,
Why don't you just make
obviously,
it a whole dozen?
I would say obviously there's at least one dozen in there. Gosh. But I got name quite a few. The first one that comes to mind though is you remember Joel Santana?
I've heard of
Dipset, been a big fan of Dipset. While G-Unit was on the rise, they were like the other side of the coin to me. I love Dipset, everything about him. And Joel Santana was like gonna be the guy. And I still don't understand what happened. Like he kind of fizzled out, but he definitely had the talent. One thing I always appreciated about him is like he doesn't rap like anybody else I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Like he's very unique. He usually
Which
does
is admirable
Yeah.
in today's era, in hip hop in general.
Yeah, and he's got kind of an offbeat flow, but it works. You know, but I do remember one song where he said, I leave you hanging like a hanger in the closet. No shirt on the hanger, just hanger in the closet. Hold up. Put some crickets. Put some crickets. I need some crickets. And I'm just like, what? Like, I kind of get what you're going for, but what?
Yeah, we talked about this on the take one of episode 3, but it's like almost a metaphor.
Yeah,
or
like that's like barely a metaphor.
Yeah, like kind. I guess that's like you like turn in your homework and you get like a D-. Like, did I pass?
Really
well, I guess. Like, yeah.
Mr. Johnson, you really phoned it in on that paper. Mr. Santana, you really phoned it in on that bar. I just don't understand. Like, you know, you hear a line similar to that as like metaphor. You're like, oh, you can picture it. That makes sense. Like, I just picture a dude hanging like in the closet. Like, what are you? What are you on a coat hook?
So you're like me, very visual.
Yeah.
I just pictured a hanger in a closet, which, like in a bar sense, that's not very like ooh.
Yeah, it's like a hanger,
just
with nothing on it.
A lone hanger, just
and then like you're a guy next to it, like oh.
just like, what are you doing in here, hanger?
Just
hanging. Yeah, same thing.
Just hanging in the closet.
Same, bro.
Yeah,
who put you in here? Santana, man.
Yeah, he's got a lot of memorable bars. That one sticks out for all the wrong reasons.
Mine that I brought up on take one.
You gonna keep reminding people?
Okay, fine. You know what? Mine that I'm gonna bring up is the Biggie Smalls line, and it's the I got techniques leaking out my butt cheeks, sleeping on my stomach so I don't fuck up my sheets.
He actually said dripping, which I think
dripping.
Yeah, it's dripping, and. Not to like correct you, now, bro. You know what you're talking about.
Worse.
I just feel like dripping might be worse than leak. Dripping.
So but
did you finish it? Did you say that?
Yeah. Okay. So I got techniques dripping out my butt cheeks, sleeping on my stomach so I don't fuck up my sheets. The irony is, I actually love the bar personally. I think it's a fantastic bar. It's just from that caliber of MC and the way he does his thing. It's a hilarious bar for me to hear. So
yeah,
that is my one. And again, this has to be a reoccurring segment because there's so many. There's just so many. let's see what's next.
Yeah, that guy, man. He's got a lot of. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to re-listen to that. I think that was "Ready to Die," wasn't it? Yeah, it was "Ready to Die."
Yeah, I think so.
And yeah, he goes off. But
So,
that's a weird one.
next we're gonna segue into random fact. Now,
Random.
this one's gonna blow your mind.
I'm random.
Are you ready for this? Okay.
Random. Yeah.
Ice is just frozen water.
Oh! Burr, 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 burr.
Dun, dun, dun. Bro, blew my mind when I found out that when I was 3 years old.
You know, you can't just be saying stuff with no research, bro. I don't.
You know, hey, fact check me.
I need some. I need some documents.
Here's what's crazy.
Send me documents.
Here's what's crazy. Today's era with the internet and like how propaganda and all that stuff is.
Yeah.
There's people out there who like that could become a new campaign. Like, like
you guys are all worked up over ice. It ain't nothing but frozen water.
Yeah, it becomes a thing. Or no, like this whole time you thought it was just frozen water, but it's really the government.
It's the government. There's chips in the there's microchips in the ice.
Which when you put them in your water, the CIA is tracking you.
They're tracking your stomach.
The funniest one. There's this guy I used to do music with. He would like tour through here and stuff like that, and it's one of those weird situations with politics where and not only politics, this is one of the negative sides of the internet is you'll get along with somebody great face to face interactions, like business exchanges, whatever, but then you'll follow them on like Facebook and be like, oh dude, come on now. And he's one of those guys that I'm like, really? And one time he had this whole campaign about how the like vaccinations and like things about like getting chips implanted in you, like they're gonna put a tracking, and that was the whole context. It was a tracking chip. The tracking chip was going to be in your bloodstream. The government was going to track you, blah, 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 and all that stuff. And all my comment to him was, I was like, hey, bro, you're posting this from your government tracking device. Like your goddamn cell phone, bro. Like, what are you freaking out about? Like, you tote this thing everywhere you go and all that, but you're letting people know where you're at constantly. Like, and I just thought the hilarity of it, of being like, you know, just like they're putting tracking devices in us as you're on your cell phone that has GPS constantly, that's literally listening to you speak so it can make ad revenue for you.
That reminds me of like seeing people like on Facebook talking about how stupid Facebook is. Oh, Facebook. You can't even do what you want on Facebook anymore. I hate it. Yeah. It's like, so you used Facebook to tell us how much you hate Facebook.
The other one is like, I don't know if you saw this, but like the canceling Netflix. People were like, because that whole, it was a show called Cuties.
Yeah,
that came
I
out.
saw the thing. Yeah, I never watched it.
And no, I didn't watch it either. But like, you know, and it did like, you know, like from like just even looking at like the promotional art for it, it did look pretty like questionable,
salacious, and inappropriate.
It did, but like people were like cancel Netflix. And my favorite thing about it is that happened with Netflix. It happened with the Super Bowl when Colin was kneeling and stuff.
Yeah.
Same thing is I'm done watching the Super Bowl. Those dudes who were shouting that are watching the Super Bowl today.
Yeah.
Mind you, we're recording this, guys. This is Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl Sunday.
But yeah, so I think that's hilarious. You know, that's my random fact is how silly people are. I'm just gonna the hilarity of just in that heat of moment, like, well, I'm never watching football again.
I'll never. You know what else was funny? We ain't gonna get too much into that stuff, but I just want to say how, you know, Nike had an ad essentially supporting
burning their fucking Nikes,
Kaepernick. And people are burning their Nike stuff that they already
bought.
What are you trying to prove?
Yeah,
like,
literally.
I always think stuff like that is dumb. Like you spend your money on something to destroy it. Like
that's like me, a rapper, a hater buying like a poster of me and then like being like, I hate sycamore trees, so I bought this $80 poster and I'm lighting it on fire. Like I'm gonna go.
Or like back in the day with like NWA and like 2 Live Crew, people of a certain age may not know how controversial those groups were, but there was an outrage about them, and people were getting a bunch of, even R. Kelly too, actually. People would have a bunch of their CDs and be doing like a little protest and destroy them in the streets. I'm like, well, you know, you bought the CDs.
Exactly like that.
What are you trying to prove here? Like, I can waste money, you know.
I can help my opponent get wealthy.
I can help his success while destroying property. Like, I don't know what the goal was, but it wasn't very well thought
My
out.
real random fact, I'm not going to elaborate on it really at all. We're just going to say it and cut to the next topic.
The sluts.
It is legal to hunt unicorns in Minnesota.
Wow.
Now, it does raise a few questions because it says it. I believe it said it was legal. I think it said it is legal. So, which would allude to that it's illegal to hunt them other places.
Yeah.
But they're not real.
You know what's something that's crazy that somebody pointed out to me the other day? They're like, so why can't unicorns be real? I mean, we do have giraffes.
Wasn't that me?
Was it? It might have been you.
Yeah,
we have giraffes. These super tall. Well, these leopard spotted, super tall.
Well, like we'll put it in this context. Alien comes to Earth, understands English for whatever reason, but doesn't really know everything. If you told that alien, like, okay, I want you to tell which one of these animals is real. There is a horse and it has a horn, or we have a 19-foot leopard cow with like a 7-foot tongue. You'd be like, well, obviously the horse with a horn is real.
Well,
like,
it's pretty.
It
doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, so I think it's funny that like you brought up unicorns are considered like just this outlandish, like what if? And then you look on Earth and you have all these weird, like you literally, it blew my mind. I went to a pet store with my wife and we were.
Shout out Felicia, the sound guy.
And she's not my. She's. Shout out to Felicia. She is like she is the person that runs my life. Like I don't know what I would do without my wife. Like she's not just sound guy. She's like financial. I know. She's motivator.
No, we ain't doing none of that. I mean, shout out to my wife. She's your wife. She's all those things. I just think great. Felicia, the sound guy, is hilarious.
You know, she is. Well, we're gonna keep her as sound guy. She's hired. So. Where was I going with that?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, pet store. Okay.
Pet store.
Pet store. Wife, yeah. My wife and I go to the pet store. Okay, and I walk in, and I look in. We were looking to get a snake, but we didn't. But I look in this cage, and they have a lizard. A lizard. He's a gecko. Okay, but he's
gecko.
He's like this type of gecko that, like visually, he emulates bark from a tree to hide from predators. And so it, boggled my mind. Like the entire time we were there, like I was just like fixated on this because it was just like astonishing to me. And especially coming from a guy who like when it comes to like religion and like beliefs, that I'm like a guy that's like I don't know, dude. Like I don't know, I don't know what's going on out there. The world's crazy. So like just seeing something like that, I'm like how did you come to be? Like how did you this living organism? Like obviously scientists are gonna like rip me apart, but like it's just and like I get the context of it, but it's mind-boggling.
Yeah,
you have a lizard
that
who
such
looks
a
like
thing
bark.
exists. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
like,
but again, unicorns fake.
Yeah, like
you can have a lizard that literally looks like a tree, but fake. No unicorn.
Chameleons and stuff. Yeah, it is kind of fascinating though, man. I don't know.
Okay, next topic.
A gecko. I like the word gecko.
Gecko. Gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping on social media.
Yes.
It's so ridiculous. So what sparked this actually was...
You might want to explain to people what it is.
Okay, so people... Shut up, man. People... No. It's my life!
You're not my real dad!
No, for those who are unaware, gatekeeping is essentially saying... excluding someone from a group because they don't fit your self-created criteria. So it's like if you're not this, if you don't do this and this, you can't be a part of this. Mm-hmm. Prime example, I seen one a couple days ago. It was like meme format, but it was like, oh, real men have toolboxes, not Xboxes. It's like, so what about the guys who have both?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You mean to tell me I'm not a real man if I ain't got a toolbox?
Or the guy who has an Xbox but handles his business.
Yeah, exactly. That's such a weird thing. And I feel like a lot of that stuff is meant to be taken, it's the internet. Yeah. A lot of this stuff is meant to be taken with a grain of salt, but some people don't have the capacity of mind to, be like, okay, that's not enough for me to take seriously.
Vapid thinkers.
Absolutely.
One-dimensional. Like people,
absolutely.
A lot of people are one-dimensional.
So, and the guy who shared it, I was just like, yeah, you would share something like that. But it's just like, what difference does it make, bruh? Like, why do you care? Or I seen one today, actually. Some girl was on Twitter like, Oh, I can't stand. Oh, a man, you look gay as hell eating kiwi. If you're
What?
bisexual, just say that. Or I seen another one. It's like,
I want to
oh,
know where you're finding these
bruh,
answers.
there's a lot of them. We could delve into
I've
them.
never seen a human being eat a kiwi and be like, oh my god.
Yeah, a homosexual.
Gay.
He homosexual. But there's another one like, oh, if a dude likes lemon in his water, he's gay, and it's like, what are y'all? Or I even seen one. The guy was saying, I hope this was satire, but the guy was saying he don't hug his son and stuff because we ain't doing that feminine stuff. Like,
Yeah, I
what?
hope that's satire. Yeah, because that.
I hope it was, but I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't be nothing. Not a lot surprises me anymore with the way people think. Because like with the internet, everybody has a voice now.
And exactly, which is bittersweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's great
Bittersweet.
you have a voice, but everybody has a voice.
Yeah, but some people just need to be quiet. Like,
and somebody, bro, one of my favorite quotes that you bring that up. This is like some where we'll kick some knowledge on you. It was something like a wise man. God dang it, I'm gonna butcher it and look like an idiot on the
just
podcast.
give me the gist of it.
The gist of it was like an insecure man speaks because he has something to say. A wise man speaks because he, or God dang, it's the other way. Like basically, a dumb person says something just because they want to say something.
Yeah.
A smart person, I'm putting this very layman's terms, says something because they have something of value to say.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that
sense,
wholeheartedly. But the whole gatekeeping thing, man, is just absurd to me. Like, you see it a lot with different fandoms and stuff, too. Like, now, I'm not into anime, so I don't know the names of stuff, but some people will be like, oh, you like anime? And I'm like, yeah, I like anime. Oh, did you see this, this, and this? I bet you never even heard of this. If you didn't watch this, you're not a real fan of anime. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
I can't be a casual fan. I have to have
Exactly,
seen
yeah.
everything you watch to be a fan.
Or be the fan on your level, because you can still be a
Exactly.
fan of something and be like, oh no, I haven't read
That's the thing, and too.
like the book that the person wrote, like that
Yeah.
alluded to the movie. And,
Yeah, and it's even like that with sports and stuff. It's like, oh, you're a fan of the Seahawks. Well, who was their quarterback in 1987?
Larry Pippins.
It's just stuff like it's just so
Fact check
bizarre.
that.
Like, why do you have a rule book on people being a fan of the things you like? But it goes well beyond fandoms and stuff.
No, yeah, it
and it's
goes-
just
yeah.
one of the things that kind of frustrates me. It's like, man, let a person like what they like. They don't have to know.
When we spoke about this, one thing you brought up that I think is super toxic is when a musician or celebrity will pass away.
Yeah.
And then the fans will, like, somebody will post, like, rest in peace to, like, Lil Peep or something like
Yeah.
that. And somebody else will comment, like, oh, like, did you even, like name 3 of the songs?
Yeah,
Like, if
you weren't posting them when he was alive.
Yeah.
Like, actually, this didn't happen to me, but I just seen it in comment sections. So I was a fan of Nipsey Hussle well before his death.
Not me. I
And,
his death is what put me on it. Which,
And I don't resent you for that. I think that's fine. I think, so he had passed away, and I just seen people in different comment sections saying other people, oh, you never posted him before he died, blah, blah. You probably didn't even really like his music. It's like, okay, so
you just have to start posting.
it's like, so I don't post artists ever, pretty much.
Yeah,
Like, so I
exactly,
mean, I don't
yeah.
like music. Like, what are you saying
Exactly,
here?
yeah.
What are we doing here? And like with Nipsey, I had became like a casual fan of his back in like 2010. I heard some verses, thought he was dope. Kind of fell off of him. And then he was on this song, Wale. Familiar with Wale?
Yeah, yeah.
Phenomenal artist, man. That dude is
really dope.
underappreciated too.
Who was it that sent me a song that he just spazzed on? I think it was
He's
Cyrus.
just poetic,
Oh,
man.
Yeah,
Just
killed it.
that dude has a way with the words, bro. Big fan of Wale, but they had a song together called Chun Li, and Nipsey. There's just an authenticity about him, bro. He wasn't like no phenomenal, groundbreaking lyricist, but like I just believe him when he's talking.
Yeah, and
this
again,
is
we talk
way
about
before his
that
death.
voice and delivery.
Yeah,
For
and
me,
then I kind of I'm gonna let you
Yeah,
say
you're
what
good.
you're saying, but just kind of the trajectory of me being a fan of his is so I would listen to him. I've seen him in a lot of movies over the years and stuff, and I would listen to quite a bit of his music over the years, and then but I don't think I had a full album at that time, but I'd heard a lot of his songs. And then the promo tour for Victory Lap. This is something that really
beautiful album.
yeah, I love it. Something that really made me that like piqued my interest in him. So I'd watched like 2 or 3 of his interviews. He was doing his promo for it, and he was on this show called Deezus and Mero. I don't know if you're familiar with them guys. Those dudes are hilarious. But so he was doing their show. They asked him about smoking weed and stuff, like if he wanted to smoke with them, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I smoke plenty, but I ain't smoking while I'm doing my promo tour because I want to be. I'm not trying to be that dude on camera. Y'all asking me a question, I'm stuttering, looking stupid and shit. So I want to be clear-headed and concise while I do my promo tour." And I'm like, "Yo, that is a real man, right?"
He was
there.
also a guy who was huge on owning your masters.
Yeah, absolutely. Very just a solid dude, man, and just it's sad that his life was taken so quick, man.
So with gatekeeping being that on the docket, I obviously being in hip hop heard Nipsey Hussle's name. I saw him on collaborations, heard songs with him on it.
Yeah.
Never just it wasn't like in that for whatever reason just nothing that grabbed me at the time. When he passed away, I just kept seeing like people I respect the hell out of, like sharing his like memory and his legacy and great things to do for his community, like that he was doing and things like that. And so I went and listened to Victory Lap, and so dope. I was like frustrated at myself for not hearing and I mean that sincerely. I listened to Victory Lap and was like, how did I not like fall in love with this artist? And now I think Nipsey he even on Victory Lap, it's like the intro track. Like there's a chick who starts singing at the beginning of it, and it's beautiful, bro. Just like it's in my frequent.
You know what?
Playlist.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of his lines just hit you differently now because he said, "I ain't trip off the credit. I just paid all of my dues. I just respected the game. Now my name all in the news." Yeah. And it's messed up because his name was all in the news, but for terrible reasons. But one song, my favorite song on that album was Real Big, a song called Real Big. I knew one day I would do it real big. And it's just something about it, man. It's like a hypnotizing, it's almost like there's almost kind of an ominous feel about it a little bit. Yeah. But it's just a phenomenal song, man. But yeah, like even though I think it's fair to say I was a fan over the years. Seeing people pop up and show him love, I thought that was great.
Exactly.
I thought that was, and the people, there's so many different snippets you can find of him just talking and saying some intelligent, profound
smart
things,
dude,
man.
Smart,
very intelligent guy. Dude, and I think that's why people who weren't real big on him, they see that type of stuff and like, wow, this dude really was, And I respect that. I think that's fine. Like, why would I be upset? Oh, you didn't like it what I did. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I keep doing that damn voice.
Well, I love it. It's
the frustrated. I'm going to name him Know-It-All Ned.
Yeah,
Know-It-All Ned.
Yeah,
but yeah, man, it's just, it doesn't bother me at all. I thought it was great that so many people showed love to him. Like, I don't understand why, it's fake love. Y'all wasn't doing this when he was here. It's like, well, he's gone now. We're sad that somebody lost their life. We're paying respects to him. We're only now learning certain things about the guy. Because it wasn't like he was out there in the forefront. Hey, listen to me. I'm saying positive things.
He was just...
He just did his stuff. And if it caught traction, it did. If not, So gatekeeping is silly as a whole. It just makes no sense.
This is gonna, I'm gonna use this as the perfect segue into the next topic. I'm guilty of gatekeeping.
You look like a gatekeeper.
What's that?
Of hell. You keep the gates of hell.
So, speaking of gatekeeping, I'm guilty of it, and I am not gonna go on the tirade that I did.
Yeah, you was mad.
But I'm guilty of gatekeeping with Resident Evil. There's a few things I'm guilty of, but Resident Evil is probably like the primary one because I grew up playing the games. The Resident Evil 2, the game in general, it was such an impactful thing in my life. It's what got me interested in like storytelling. It's what got me interested in music. Like it was the first game. It got me into gaming. It enthralled me. So I became obsessed with like the universe and the lore of Resident Evil. And then Paul W. Anderson, who I will just quickly say that if I ever see him in person, I'm fighting him on sight. He made the Resident Evil movies and just
You're ridiculous
destroyed
for that.
He just destroyed it. He ruined it. And well, the only reason, again, I'm gonna clarify, people. The reason I don't like this director, it's not only did he like destroy these movies and the characters I love in like the like live action format of the movies, But when fans got mad about it, because mind you, very contentious amongst like hardcore RE fans, like the movies.
RE fans,
There's
yeah.
a RE movie reboot that'll be released September. That it's a reboot separate from his universe because like the fans were so mad that like they were like, okay guys, sorry, we'll try again.
Yeah.
But when the fans like started vocalizing it, he was like, "Deal with it. It's my universe now. It's my version of the universe and stuff." And that's why I'm like, "I'll fight you. Like, I will beat you up in real life. You're not tough." What if he beat the shit out of me? Wouldn't that if I was like, "Hey, Paul," and he just anyway, but yeah. So I gatekeep that just in the sense of I'm gonna give one quick scenario. I was at my friend's house a long time ago, and we were like doing like a date night, dinner, and a movie kind of thing. And something brought up that they had like this is quite a while ago, so it was like a Wii U or Wii or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had the game Resident Evil 4 on it. And Resident Evil 4 is a dope game. And I'm like, oh, let's play it. I've never played it on the Wii, like using little Joy-Cons and whatever and stuff. So I go to play it, and as I'm playing it, dead ass, not trying to be funny, mind you, I already have this deep hatred in my heart for the movies and the characters of the movies. My friend that was there was like, hey, well, when do you get to play as Alice, which is the main character of the movies? She's only in the movie. She's not in the game. She's a made-up character in the movie. She's the stupidest character ever. I hate her. Well, she asked, and like, I legit, well, then she's like, I love Resident Evil. And like, my mindset was like, no, you don't. You don't love Resident Evil. And, like, and that is gatekeeping. It's bad.
That
don't
absolutely
be a gatekeeper.
is. Don't
be a gatekeeper. You know what?
I'm not. I think I'm not a gatekeeper because I don't care about nothing that much. Like I don't.
That's the hard thing about being like a super nerd about something.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I definitely have my nerd stuff, but I'm not. Like I love Mortal Kombat, the Mortal Kombat franchise, and I see people criticizing stuff and stuff.
What do you think about this then?
What?
Okay, I'm gonna hit you with something.
Oh.
New Mortal Kombat movie's coming out. Okay, have you seen anything?
I'm intrigued.
Okay, you're intrigued. Here's my question about it. Big Mortal Kombat fan. All these characters that can be main characters in lore. They made a new character for the main character.
Who is it?
I don't know what his name is, but he's like a UFC fighter or something. His name's Cory or something. I'm just saying Cory because it sounds right. But yeah, but like the
Cory.
synopsis.
A dude named Cory in Mortal Kombat seems a little.
Johnny Cage. Well, it's
Jax.
you got
Scorpion. Scorpion versus Cory.
Scorpion. Cory.
Hi, I'm Cory.
I'm here to sign up for the Mortal Kombat tournament.
But the name's Cory. No, I feel like as long as it's a well told, that doesn't bother me. They're always adding new characters in the games.
Yeah, no, and that's where you're the perfect type of fan that you're just like, yeah, cool. Like as long as it's good.
If it's good, if I don't like the movie, it'll more probably be because of the story than versus whatever new characters they brought in.
Yeah.
Like I think that's fine. Just make it make sense and make it good.
So to segue into the final topic of our podcast,
this
fine afternoon is 90s nostalgia.
90s.
Because
the 90s.
When I talk about Resident Evil, when I think about it, my core memories of it, ironically, are the nostalgic feelings I got of booting up my PlayStation and hearing like the Resident Evil. I just butchered that. But like when you hit start, I was so like, it's funny because the title track when you do that is supposed to be so ominous. I want that, what I just said, I want that to go in the games. There's people like, what? It's like just Resident Evil.
So essentially, when this topic came to mind, like the 90s, we were raised in the 90s. It's like the question is,
were the 90s great?
Were the 90s really that great, or do we just miss being kids?
I'm gonna say yes, they were great.
No.
Yes.
No. The 90s.
I have my reasons.
Reasons.
Data. What are you? Don't bring facts here. I guess opinions.
Let me see some documents. Where's your documentation?
Do you have a permit?
Oh, somebody stole our permits. No, but it's hard to say, man, because that was our childhood, And I think about how innovative of a decade it was and how many things started in the 90s.
I'm gonna tell you right now,
trends and different snacks and stuff that movies and just. I feel like that's one of the best decades ever. I'm also pretty enamored with the 80s. Yeah. But the 90s, something about it, man. I can just remember certain times in the 90s and just some of the greatest times in my life.
I'm going to break down to you why I do actually think it was a great era. Probably, if not one of the greatest eras in human
It is the era that sparked what we're doing here
Exactly.
in terms of the internet and
Yeah. So here's why I love the '90s. I feel like it was the perfect, like we'll say, middle ground, the perfect balance of how we operate as a society today. Here's a few reasons. One, I think technology was at a great point.
Yeah.
We had internet, but it wasn't so advanced that we were just enamored with it constantly.
Yeah,
we weren't walking around with computers in our pockets.
Yeah,
we weren't. It wasn't nearly as
not everybody had an understanding
exactly.
of it.
And on top of that, internet was like something that was so like I guess new and like novelty that when you got to use the internet, it was like an exciting moment.
Yeah.
So now it's just as simple as like right now I reach down and
Pull
grab
your
my
phone
phone,
out.
I Google something, and we're like unhealthily obsessed with our phones, myself included.
Yeah.
So that I think technology was like this perfect good little balance. And I'm saying like it could have, like obviously build on a little bit more, but I think where we're at now, maybe too much. Like honestly, for the average vapid one-dimensional thinker, these people get so obsessed. So then on top of that, I think that as humans, the way we connected them, like in connecting to like the cell phone stuff, was so much more personal. Some of my favorite memories, bro, are, and I know you have memories like this, going to Blockbuster.
Yes.
Sleep over with your friends.
Sleep over, go pick out some movies and maybe some games.
Yeah, pick out a couple snacks. And just,
or even like Hastings, going there and
Hastings,
just, picking out music. And remember when you could do the little thing where you could get like a sample of whatever song, you just listen to like 30 seconds of it or whatever.
You put the headphones on, so I just, and now on the parallel of that, like what we do now is the way we connect now is again via social media. And on social media, everybody has a voice. Bittersweet, as we've addressed.
Yes.
With it being bittersweet, you have people who are going to be what we call keyboard warriors, who are going to say some ignorant, flagrant, crazy stuff.
Some people wake up and just choose negativity.
Exactly.
Man. I don't understand that. I don't get it. Like, what's wrong in your life that you? Let me find something terrible to say.
I think something negative about the internet, which is why I do miss the '90s, I don't feel like it was as. Of course, it existed, but it wasn't as prominent. Is we have all become these like horrible like critics, these viciously critical on everything. And I mean everything from like what other people post to what your neighbor's doing. So the things that get me, bro, that drive me nuts is, we'll give an example. Mortal Kombat movie trailer drops, say, since we were talking about the trailer for the Mortal Kombat movie drops. But let's not even say a trailer, a teaser. They're announcing the trailer. Like, hey, trailer's coming next month.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
The teaser is 15 seconds long, and it just shows like Sub-Zero doing a roundhouse kick, and then like Scorpion throwing out, it's like, get over here, and whatever, so that. And then it goes Mortal Kombat in big letterings. Comment section will be like, fucking gay, dumb.
This is like the worst thing I've ever seen.
Their costumes look like shit. It's like
Sub-Zero scars on the other eye.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, yo, like you saw 15 seconds of footage, big guy.
Not watching it. It looks like trash.
Yeah, that's another funny one. Yeah, but yeah, so
this is the worst thing ever made.
That's what I feel like back in the day, in the '90s when we were kids, we go to a movie. I vividly remember going to a movie and sitting there waiting for the movie to start, and a trailer will come on and be like, well, fuck, I want to watch that.
I can't wait till that comes out.
I'd rather watch that.
Another thing, this was actually kind of rough in the 90s. It's probably not as long as it seems, just us being kids, but if ever it would be like 6 months that a movie would be in theaters, and be 6 months until it comes out on video. And you forgot you even went to see it. I did. Yeah, it's out now.
And nowadays you just stream it right
there. Yeah, exactly. You can, as it's in theaters. And
I did watch Wonder Woman in theaters, but I had the choice. You could watch Wonder Woman on HBO Max or in theaters. Yeah. And like it was strange to me. And that's where the nostalgia comes in, admittedly, is this new generation, this younger, because it's the environment they're in, they might love. Like, to them, nostalgia in the future will be like buying snacks on the way home and getting on their couch and putting on their PJs and turning on a new movie. To me, nostalgia was like Avengers is like coming out Friday, being like, oh, like bro, Friday night we're going to Avengers, getting like with the driving to the theater, getting snacks, going and sitting down all giddy,
it's credits
turning on, bro. It's just like like to capture those feelings again, man. Like,
that type of stuff is great, man. Even like arcades too. Like I was
Aladdin's
trying to. My son was like 5. I was trying to explain to him the concept of an arcade. Well, why didn't they just play games at their house? I'm like, well, it was a social thing. You meet up with your friends. And, you know, you get quarters and you play the different games.
Pizza,
and,
order, like,
you know, stuff like that.
Drink
but
a soda.
he was like, I think he's a little older now, so I think he might understand the concept better now. But yeah, when he was 5, he was like, why would I do that? Like, you know, but. You know, it's just crazy how much things have changed.
I can literally sit here and eat potato chips.
Yeah, I can sit here and watch whatever movie I want. And that's another thing too, is the instant gratification.
There was Oh, bro, I'm glad you brought that up.
Now. Yeah. Give it up now. Yeah. I want the movie now. You know.
Well, even as a gamer, I back in the day, I'll give Pokemon as an example. A Pokemon game would come out, huge for me, bro. You talk about like excitement as a child and as an adult. The game would come out, you wouldn't see the next like installment of like the main series for like maybe 4 years, because I mean they're building these games. Now you're getting yearly releases of things,
right? And DLC and all that,
and which is it has its pros and cons, because it's cool. Like I get excited, but also like if you took 4 years to work, cause the reason they're doing it is now market strategy wise. Like if you take 4 years to do anything, like you're like, oh, you're gonna lose like stocks. People aren't gonna pay attention, you know, whatever. And like it sucks because. Say they took 4 years to bust their ass on like something like really hard and made this phenomenal game, but instead you get these companies, I'm not saying all of them do it, but you end up having these things that just kind of every year cut out this like cookie cutter, like, oh, here you go, here's your yearly drop.
Yes, absolutely,
like, here
absolutely.
You go. Like,
I do think, you know, although I'm not crazy about the microtransactions and stuff, I do think the concept of DLC is cool, but I mean,
like
you think about back in the day, you got a game, you had everything.
Yeah, it was right there. Yeah. So if you wanted a secret like costume, you unlocked it.
You had unlocked it. You could get your cheat codes and stuff. Yeah. And now it's like they essentially update like MK11. Like that game is gonna be getting updated. It's got a couple more updates coming. So I mean, you know, that's cool, the whole DLC thing. But I get what you're saying. Like a lot of companies do just kind of. It's like the cookie cutter thing.
Call of Duty Super.
Here's
every year.
Here's this year's version of last year's game. Like, you know, it's
what's different? The radar looks
the
cool.
font's different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, literally, bro. You're not kidding. Like,
hey, it's different font. This is New Times Roman. But yeah, that's that kind of. That's why I'm not too big on the yearly games. I would rather a game come out like MK. They seem to do a game every 4 years, and then they'll update it periodically. And then the Injustice games, which are part of under the same umbrella, they come out. So they come out like I would say every 4 years also, but they're offset.
But when they come out, they're great, bro.
You know,
they're
phenomenal games. So
outstanding. Like the pageantry, like behind it, the story. Like it's just a good example. Actually, we bring up of that instant gratification is. So if you got really into, say, Walking Dead in the past, you had to wait a week in between each episode. Yeah. Now, Netflix drops a season in one go. So you can binge the entire season. So there's no waiting for the cliffhanger.
Yeah, definitely.
You just watch season 1 all in one sitting. And so WandaVision on Disney, they did weekly, every Friday. Yeah. They're still doing it. Every Friday, a new episode drops. People, when I was going in the comments and stuff like that, like seeing the trailers and stuff, were furious, being like, because like
I can't wait,
because it's like people forget when you like a new, mind you, season 1, right. So you have some character development that has to take place. There has to be plot that builds, and like episode 1 comes out and they're like, this is dumb. I don't even know what's going on. Like, of course you fucking don't, bro. Like, duh. They're not gonna tell you right out the gate. Like, by the way, guys, main villain is this guy. This person's gonna betray this person.
I actually work with a guy who's kind of like that. Like, he gets mad at everything he watches because of that. Like, oh, I don't even know what's fucking going on. It's like, bro, give it some time. Like, damn, like chill out. But it's so ironic, man, because like us as kids and like people, the generation before us, that was the norm, is waiting a week for the next episode. You know, and even I still do it with some shows I watch. Like, there's a show called Snowfall that I absolutely love. You know, you never even heard of it. But yeah, they come out every week and it's fine. Like I'll watch it, do something else and forget me, and then next thing you know, it's this Thursday or whatever day it comes. I'm like, oh, Snowfall comes on tonight. Boom.
Yeah, for me, it's bittersweet because I mean, the weak man in me, the addict in me, like we talk about that, because I'm addicted to gratification.
Yeah.
I think as humans, that's common. So right now, if you told me, you know what, secretly, Nick, you can watch all of WandaVision. I might not have enough constitution, but I know I'll wait. Yeah. But the thing when I'm forced to wait, like when I'm forced to have patience, like the excitement gets me. Like it admittedly does. Like it'll end because like that night I'll like be sitting there being like, what's gonna happen? And I'll like sit there and talk with. It happened last night.
Oh my god!
And I'll talk about it. And then like you said, through as the week goes by, it won't be as prominent in my mind. Yeah. And then like Friday will drop. I'll be like, oh tonight. Oh shit!
Tonight.
You know, like yeah.
That is nice when you do just remember. Oh, it says tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Bro, speaking and quickly on WandaVision because I think I told you about how I was excited to watch it because the internet. I hadn't got to see episode 5, and when episode 5 dropped, the internet, like, thank God I missed all the spoilers. Was like, oh my God, like I can't believe what WandaVision did. I watched it last night with Felicia. I don't think in my entire life I have ever personally witnessed like a plot twist of that magnitude. Felicia was like laughing at me because I was like, bro, I paused it and was like pacing. I was like, and I might be overreacting if you haven't seen it, but if you have seen it, is a MCU fan, is a superhero movie fan, bro. Something crazy happened at the end of episode 5. And guess what?
What?
I have to wait until Friday to find out what happens.
Oh my God, no. What's this world coming to?
What if I die in between there, Jay?
Well, shit. I mean, you have lived a full life.
30 to 32.
Youngish.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that is that all our subject matter for the day?
That is. So I feel
so I'm gonna just say, yeah, the '90s were great, but we do also miss being kids.
I think we're both right.
Yeah, it's both of those.
The '90s are great, but also nostalgia is a huge factor.
It is absolutely. There's a reason that decade is so well loved. But
here's one thing that I feel that I do miss about the '90s now. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you and I.
Conjunction junction.
We come from two very different walks of life.
Yes.
Which is fantastic because we're such great friends.
Yes.
But here's what I feel about the '90s. It's very different from today. I feel like back in the '90s, if some dude like say went into Walmart and started popping off on some like racist type shit, he's probably getting knocked out in Walmart. You know, I feel like that in the '90s. I just feel like it was different. Like even like
I don't know, man. I don't know.
And here, mind you, it's come from like I obviously we have different perspectives.
Yeah.
I feel like it just didn't fly as much then. The internet now and all this like this whole rhetoric going on. I feel like, admittedly, and this is a hot button, but like racism is getting more like flagrant and like passable to some people.
Like, I don't think it's that. I think, you know, like you said, we have very different perspectives. I think it's just as here as it's always been.
There's just social media.
There's just more of a light being shined on it. And I think that even in the '90s, like people, I mean, you know, as great of a decade as it was, racism was still very much here, and there was very much homophobia and people mistreating other people with, you know, for their differences. Yeah. So I don't think that's nothing new.
And maybe the part of it I missed then maybe isn't the fact that, and this is like a two-sided coin here, because maybe it was nice not being aware of it.
That might be the thing, man.
The thing, opposed to like.
But believe me, when you look like I do, you're very much aware of it.
Oh yeah, that's
you know.
That's
so
kind
it's
of where I alluded to it. The whole very different perspective.
It's very different because
I'm a white kid from Wyoming. You're a black guy from Brooklyn.
Yeah, so I
don't know if it gets much more different.
It doesn't, man. It doesn't. So we won't delve too much into that. Not just yet. That's something else we can delve into.
Quick,
but
we're gonna finish here. 50 Cent. 18-year anniversary.
18 years, man. Whoo. Get Rich or Die Trying came out 18 years yesterday, February 6th. February 6th. And phenomenal album. One of the, if I ever make a list of the greatest hip hop albums of all time, Get Rich or Die Trying will be on that. One of the hip hop pages I follow on Instagram actually posted the intro, you know, the coin flip. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I just, What Up Gangsta was playing in my head like immediately after that. So, yeah. So
Here's why that album is so impactful and cool to me, and it correlates to you and I. Okay. Yeah. One, just a great album.
Yeah.
Like it was one of the albums that admittedly started like really branching out my interests in music. I started, and just such a great classic album. But one of my most prominent memories of that album in particular in that era is back when we were real young, bro. And we used to walk the neighborhood, like that whole block that we ran, it was all over town, bro. Like that whole area. Yeah. But I remember, just as the crew, we'd walk, and some of the songs off Get Rich or Die Trying would be songs that we'd like rap. And but somebody rap one verse, and the other person would do a chorus and this and that. Yeah. And so just 18 years, and that we were that's when we were we were homies back 18 years ago, bro.
Man, and I can't stand you now, but
I hate you, bro. Seriously. People don't realize the whole time we're doing the podcast, I'll glance at him and just
rage. No, but that was a very phenomenal album, man. If I actually have it in my music library right now. I have a few of the songs in my gym playlist, and I think it'll probably always be a part of my life, man. I just, I think if you had to pick one favorite song from that album, what would it be?
I think I did tell you this one time, which is a very strange one, but I don't know why. But my favorite, it's just the first one that popped in my head is the outro where it's I let my wit talk, or my watch talk for me, my wit talk for me, my gat talk for me. Blah, what up, homie?
Yeah, that's actually that was that Ja Rule disc. Yeah. What is it? Life's on the Line. Yeah. That song was great. That song was actually from years before.
Yeah, because he even sounds different.
Yeah, he sounded different on that.
I think, was that before he got shot?
Yeah, that was maybe the year it happened or the year before. But I actually remember because I had seen 50 Cent's videos on it. There's a channel in Brooklyn. I don't know if it's still around, but there's this channel. I think it was B-Cat. And they would play videos on their music videos. A lot of them would be obscure videos you wouldn't see on MTV and stuff. Mm-hmm. And Life's on the Line was one of them on there. I just remember seeing it one morning before school. Never seeing nothing about 50 Cent again until he was on the rise.
Was that your first introduction to 50 Cent ever then?
I didn't think. I'm not gonna lie. I liked the song, but I didn't think much of it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was.
And then
I don't know why that was.
He resurfaced. I'm like, why do I know that? Who 50 Cent? Wasn't he the one? Because I was like, he looks different because he was kind of chubby in the Life's on the Line video and stuff. But he resurfaced it. I don't know if you could consider it a comeback because he never really blew up outside the city initially. Yeah. But I don't know, if resurgence, I guess. Yeah. But it's phenomenal. If I pick a favorite song from Get Rich or Die Trying, it's really hard because there's none of them I skip. But I think I would have to go with Don't Push Me. Because that's just a dope concept. Oh, don't Push Me and You Not Like Me are two of my favorites, but the whole album. But yeah, Don't Push Me it's a phenomenal song. Lloyd Banks has a great verse on there. Eminem has a great verse on there. So yeah, that might be my favorite if I absolutely have to pick.
All right, well, we went over this podcast. So.
Well over.
YOLO rambling.
Right, so we will do our outros. I'm doing it today. I said I screwed up, but I'm doing it.
Do it.
All right, everybody. So I want to end on just saying peace, love, many blessings. If you're struggling with anything out there, especially, I always tell people, every fight, period, starts in here.
He's pointing at his head. You can't see us.
But every fight starts and ends internally in our own thoughts and stuff like that. So be strong. And if you ever need to reach out, I implore you, do so. There's a lot of people out there who care about you. If you're listening to this right now and you think nobody cares about you, guess what? We
care.
We care.
Also, remember, there is balance in everything. People.
Absolutely. That is the key to life, balance. So with that being said, you have tuned into another episode of the Young Old Heads podcast. I am Nicholas Fletcher.
I'm the sultry Jaquan Davis.
Thank you so much. This is a hip-hop centric podcast where we talk a little bit about everything. I screwed it up again. A little bit about everything. A lot about nothing.
You ain't shit.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Peace.